We can go cashless tomorrow. Here's an idea for evaluation. I am G. Ramachandran, Ramach to my associates and my friends, and my email is indiagrow@gmail.com. We can go cashless tomorrow. Yesterday, Sunday, November 27, 2016, 11 o'clock, the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. We heard you, Mr. Prime Minister. We are excited. We are inspired. The Prime Minister has goaded us to action by presenting remonetization as the act and digitalization as the objective. We are with you, Mr. Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has set off a wave of expectation, fellow feeling, optimism, participation, and trust. Above all, trust. And it would be two-way, Mr. Prime Minister. It's a spirit of NH6, the National Highway 6. You spoke very nicely about this restaurant in Akola, and we are with you. Every one of us is now infused with the spirit of NH6. And how do we propose to go cashless? But first, the social and economic benefits of digitalization are immense. The total progression from less cash to cashless can be accomplished in about 3 months' time. The implementation can begin right away, and we have a plan. Becoming cashless need not be a distant dream. We can be cashless tomorrow. Both the payer and the payee should have an incentive to transact digitally. So, the government should give a financial incentive to both the payer and the payee in every cashless transaction. The buyer, the seller, and here's a transaction. Product or service moves from the seller to the buyer. The payment, the cashless payment, moves from the buyer to the seller. And all these transactions are loaded onto a government server, our nation's exchequer. As a consequence, the exchequer will pay a P% incentive of the value of the transaction to the buyer as well as to the seller. It's a two-way incentive system that the exchequer would have, paying both the buyer and the seller to choose to go cashless. Let's do this once again. We can be cashless tomorrow because we need to be cashless as early as we can. The buyer and the seller meet in a transaction. The goods are sold, the service is rendered, the e-payment is made, the cashless payment is made. The government acknowledges the transaction. Our nation's exchequer then makes a payment. Our nation's exchequer then makes a payment to both the buyer and the seller. It's a P% of the value of the transaction as the incentive. The P% incentive could be a function of the savings bank rate. My team is working on this. Further, the government could consider giving the e-payment device free of cost to all accredited and verified account holders. And this is the result. The P% incentive becomes the opposite of a transaction tax. The government is used so much to taxing the citizens. This idea would require a change of heart at the government so that it pays an incentive to both buyer and seller in this transaction, which is rendered in a cashless way. We can be cashless tomorrow, and we are collaborating already. We are collaborating to better understand our economy, and we are in great collaborative mode to make this idea of remonetization work and to make India work for all its citizens. Thank you for your time and your interest. Let's think this through. My email is indiagrow@gmail.com. G. Ramachandran or Ramach to my associates and my friends.